this is the second stream today. We got to talk about what the heck is going on with our Tennessee Volunteers right now. I'm starting to worry about a couple of things. I don't know how y'all feel. I'm not saying that the sky's falling or nothing like that, so don't take it like I'm saying that. But I do feel like something's going on. I think that we've got to try to get a hold on this team. We talked earlier about needing a GM. I think that this is why you need GMs, because we've lost way too many safeties, okay? Guys that we need. We just lost Kobe Thomas, okay? We just lost Kobe Thomas. Some people think, oh, well, that's not that big of a deal. He didn't put up great numbers last season. People will make up any reason for it not to be a problem. It's a problem, okay? It is a problem. Safety is a very important position on a football team. We're going to have to get this thing figured out. Y'all, please do make sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to bring this up for you real quick, okay? I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you this. All right. This is how Tennessee safety room looks currently. As we've talked about before, if the players are highlighted in purple, it means that they hit the transfer portal. I left them up here just so that y'all could see what Tennessee lost. 3 safeties. Okay, it was John Slaughter first. Y'all know P and I love John Slaughter. He's a guy with good size, 6'2", 200. Felt like this could have been his year. Okay, he looks good in coverage. Is it perfect? No, but is it good? Yeah. Can he hit? For sure. This is he can play box safety. He can play free safety. Okay, tall, long rangey guy. He can run. He can move. He's a daggum football player. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that as the highest compliment that you can give to a football player. He's a football player. Then we lose Christian Charles. That was a shot. You know, I think that we're fine losing John Slaughter. Didn't want to lose him. Would love to have him back, but I think that we're still okay because we had Christian Charles. Now, Christian Charles didn't do anything in spring. Why? Because he was banged up. He's been banged up. He had a good year last season. That was his healthiest year. We've already talked about it. Look at his size, 6'1", 200. Older guy, veteran. All these guys that we lost, veterans. So Christian Charles would have been a redshirt senior. John Slaughter would have been a rising junior or a redshirt sophomore, right? Third-year guy. And then you look at Kobe Thomas, who we just lost today, right? Redshirt senior, listed at 6'2", over 200 pounds. You're losing veterans at safety. You're losing guys that, again, the coverage might not have been perfect. I think that Christian Charles probably would have had the best coverage out of all 3 of these guys. He was typically banged up. He did a good job, I think, filling, playing us out of the box and things like that too. Kobe Thomas is a guy that, his pass coverage needed to take a step forward. Looked like maybe it did just based off of spring. You can't get a whole lot from spring, but you can get something. It looked better. It definitely looked better. He was a leader on that defense. But the main thing is he was going to stick you. He was a fearless guy whenever you're going up against, teams like Georgia. I want him on my team because I want you to try to lay somebody out. That's what he did. That's what all these guys did. They're going to stick their neck in there. They're gone. Okay. Who's left? Well, we already know Andre Turrentine. Hopefully we can hold on to him. Okay. He has pretty good size, right? He's not as tall as those other guys, but I think that he played well last season. Was it perfect? No. I think his coverage is going to be good. It's going to be very, very solid. He's going to do his best to stick his neck in there and try to make some stops. I think he did a lot better job of that last season compared to 2023. All right. He's going to be one of the starters. Who else? Well, Jordan Thomas. Love him. Haven't seen him since last season. We don't know if he's honestly, and I hate that. We don't know if he's even going to play, y'all. We just don't. His knee injury sounds like that was really nasty. We don't even know for sure if he's going to play. Who's that leave you? Well, you got Ed Drees. Love him. Young guy. He has good size. Okay. I think he's got to work on his coverage skills some, but he will stick you. He will stick you. He's still here. Right now, I think he's starting. Personally, I think right now he's starting right next to Andre Turrentine. Then you're looking at some guys that aren't, well, actually, let me talk about all the safeties first. Sidney Walton, we got him. He's a true freshman. He's a guy that, we got him to play at safety. In spring, he was playing corner. He might have played safety some, but he was playing a lot of corner. So he's probably going to have to move back to safety just for the depth. Then you look at, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm Sidney Walton. I'm getting him mixed up with Tim Merritt. It's because I'm so fired up. But Tim Merritt he's one that we got to play at safety as a true freshman. He's been playing at corner. Sidney Walton, we got him to play safety. He looks good walking around. Just physically looks good. I think he looked good in his drills. Don't know if he did much inside of the orange and white game. But again, young guy. Then you look at Caleb Beasley. Caleb Beasley came to play corner for us. Well, we said it coming out of high school. Hey, he could play safety. He can play star. I thought that he was going to be the backup star behind Boo. Right now, I think he's going to have to play at safety. So then who's the backup behind Boo? See what I'm saying? Like, we are in a very, very tough spot. Then you could talk about Tyler Redmond, who I think right now to start the season off, since we're shorthanded at cornerback too, he's cornerback number 3 right now. I think that's how that's working out. We also have Marcus Gorey, he's not on this list. He could maybe play some corner or star for you. He's a second-year guy, redshirt freshman, pretty good size. But the whole point is that we are very limited at safety to the point that we have to add one inside of this spring window. We all know you don't want to be trying to add stuff inside of the spring window. Doesn't typically work out too well for you, especially not this late. I mean, I think that the spring window closes as far as who can jump inside of the portal. I think when does that close? On the 25th, maybe? So I think that it closes tomorrow. It might be Saturday. It's something like that. We're in a really, really tough spot. Of course, I'm going to show y'all, we'll talk about a couple of players that we can maybe go out there and add. But, Kobe Thomas, he's a guy that came out and said it sounds like that he wanted some more money. Sounds like he was asking for a lot of money and Tennessee wouldn't pay it. So, again, the staff knows, right? Like they know, hey, we can hold on to this person. We think that we could find somebody else for this person. Maybe that's how they felt, or maybe they just didn't think that it was worth it. But we are in a terrible, terrible, terrible spot. Okay, like we already know about the quarterback situation. We're going to talk more about it here in just a minute. But now, we said, hey, if we want to have a shot, we just talked about the schedule. If we want to have a shot, people have to step up everywhere. Losing, not being uncertain and unsure about your safeties and playing SEC football versus quarterbacks that are ballers every single week, that's a problem. That is a big time problem. So I'm going to get to some of these chats here real quick. This first one is from Jay saying, yo, what's going on, bro? Thank you for joining us. This one right here is saying that it's just kids wanting money. Yep, 100%. And then this one's also saying, end of story, kids just want money, money, money. They all think of Nico is gone, that freed up money for me. And they're asking, can I have it? And then Tennessee doesn't want to. Yeah, and on that point, while we're talking about that, because I know a lot of folks are going to be upset about the players asking for more money, I will continue to say whenever things like this happen, let's direct the anger to the rightful places. I'm not mad at the players. I'm not mad at the coaches. This is the market. They're making the best out of a bad situation. I'm looking at Greg Sankey and his whole bunch. That's who I'm looking at. That's where the problem is. They got to get some stuff fixed. They had to have some real set rules and guidelines so the players just can't transfer out too much. Yeah, the money thing, you don't want to overspend and blah, blah, blah. That's not my money. It might be some of y'all's money, okay? So I'm not like – they're going to have to the boosters who've been spending money since before the transfer portal opened up, because let's not get it twisted. Players have always gotten paid. Maybe not this much, but they've always gotten paid. The really, really good ones, they got paid. Wasn't legal, but they found a way. So the whole point here is I'm not mad at them either. I'm mad at the people who will not set the proper rules and guidelines so that we can have something that is consistent, so that we know what our team's going to look like. I can't even imagine what Coach Heupel's going through. And look, I'm the first to, I'll put the blame where it needs to be put. At least that's what I aim to do. I'm not mad at Coach Heupel for this situation. He's got too much on his plate. Somebody help him out. Sankey, what the hell is Greg Sankey doing? Yeah. So I think that both of those players are good, but that's not enough depth. Like that's not enough. Safeties get hurt. These are smaller guys that have to play like linebackers sometimes. They got to go take on offensive linemen, guys that are 2 and 3 times bigger than them. They got to go take them on face first. You know what I mean? That we do not have enough. We at 100% have to go get a safety. Like there's no question. We might need to go get 2. And this one's also saying, okay, but that is a real question. Yeah, 100%. Sorry about that, man. I'm literally reading these things off as I'm pulling them up. All right. So they're saying, why is no one in the chat? Actually, I see some people in here. I don't know. Maybe you can't see it. Okay, so you've got a whole bunch of here. I'm going to try to skip down and get to this one right here from the Only 10 UC. Hey, thank you for joining us again. Good to see you. Saying that I swear something is up with Tim Banks. He seems like someone who doesn't bend when kids come to him for more playing time or money. He doesn't fight to keep okay. What I think that you're right on that in some areas for sure. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs, but I think that you're on to something with it. Is this on Tim Banks? Whose fault is it? This is on somebody. This is somebody's fault. This is from Andros saying, okay, it's just the last day that they can enter the portal, right? Yeah. So we can still bring in players that are in the portal after that, correct? That is correct. That's 100% correct. All right, so I'm gonna try to move on from this screen. All right, we're gonna move on from this screen, and I want to talk some more about just this right here, real quick. Okay, these are some of the notable losses for me over like the past, I guess, since the past portal window. Okay. Some of the notable losses that I think had a lot to do with NIL and a lack of being willing to pay these players. Now, you can't pay everybody. You also have to gauge, like we said, who's worth that money. Not everybody's going to be worth what they're asking for. And when it comes to that situation, if you can't pay them, you just flat out can't pay them. But obviously, we know about the Nico situation, right? So lose him. That was a big deal. I think it's starting to look even bigger and bigger the more that Tennessee loses players. Next, we could talk about Shady Hayward. Remember him? 4-star safety that Tennessee could definitely use right now, okay, that we let go to Florida because I guess Florida gave him some more money and Tennessee wouldn't match it. That's the story that I've heard. Is that 100% true? I don't know. I'm not trying to spread rumors. I'm just letting you know. I guess that kind of is spreading rumors. I'm just kind of like telling you what I've heard, okay? So that's a major problem, right? That's a major problem. I've also seen that Florida lost a safety not too long ago, probably because Shady Hayward is that dude. He's the real deal. He's going to play. Is he going to start? I think he has a chance to. Tennessee could have used him. All right. And I guess we looked at our roster and said, well, everyone's fine. Everyone's good. We've got plenty of people. We weren't expecting to lose 3 guys. That's why if you see a guy that's good enough, okay, you got to pay him. If you can pay him, you got to pay him. If that means that you got to cut somebody else that's not as good, you got to pay the better players. That's just what you have to do. Or you're going to end up in a messed up situation just like this. Next player, Douglas Utu, star stud guard. I think he also probably could have played for us as a true freshman. I don't know if Tennessee would have had to go out and add 2 guards from that transfer portal. Just pay Doug because he was good enough. He's going to Oregon, right? He flipped to Oregon. Now, I also have to tell you, I think that Tennessee did a really good job of going out and finding Cade. Listen, I think he's good too. And he's really, really, really good. Is he going to start right now? Obviously, he's not going to have to because we've got some other players and he's still young. But I'm just saying that was a loss, and I think that was because of NIL. The next one is Josh Thompson. Now, this was a guard that Tennessee targeted. I think that he was from Washington, and he was about to choose Tennessee. LSU comes out in the final hour with a higher offer, and he goes there. We said, no, we're just not even going to match it. Go on ahead and go. He was the best guard inside of the portal. Okay, let him go. All right. Well, you could have just got one, right? If you paid the first 2 guys here, Doug and Josh Thompson, you just pay them, and we're fine. But then I don't know how much we paid for the new guys. Pendleton and also Moy, who I like both of those guys. Please don't get that twisted. Love those guys. But I'm just saying, maybe you could have saved some money if you just do it right the first time. All right. And then we've got Tristan Keys, guy that wanted to come to Tennessee. He was begging to come to Tennessee. I mean, this kid's best friends with Faison, loved Tennessee. Absolutely loved it. Going on visits, comes to Tennessee first in spring, says, hey, everything's great. Goes to LSU, probably got some more money. I'm speculating there, but it's probably about some money. Got a much better offer. We said, no, we're not going to match it. He chooses LSU. This is a wide receiver. We know Tennessee needs wide receivers, right? He wouldn't have been here this season, but we're going to need him next year too. And this is a number 1 rated wide receiver in the country. Okay, next, Rodney Dunham. What about this edge rusher that, came from, I think he's from the Charlotte area. He looks up to James Pierce. He loved Coach Chop, Coach Garner, Coach Ayers. Love this team. Leaning to Tennessee heavily. All of a sudden, he ends up at Notre Dame out of nowhere. Was that about money? I think it could have been. And then what about Tyson Bacon? Okay. Now, we know that this might have been coming, but just because he wasn't very highly rated whenever Tennessee got him inside the boat, but we saw that early on. We do a great job of finding the talent. We got to hold on to it a little bit better. Tyson Bacon getting all these offers, all of a sudden, hey, guys, I still love you, but I'm going to look at all my options. People feel like he might still end up with Tennessee. I sure hope so. Maybe we need to throw some more NIL money out there if we have it to sweeten it up. I think that we need to start doing more of that. Then, of course, as I said, we got Kobe Thomas. Kobe Thomas, man, he was going to be, I think he was going to start right next to Andre Turntime. Gone. Now we're in a really bad situation where you didn't want to pay him. Okay. What was he asking for? I have no idea. Let's just call it $1.2 million. Okay. Maybe. It probably was nowhere near that, but let's just say, what do you think you're going to have to pay somebody else when they know that you need them bad coming out of this transfer portal, when there's a lot more competition? You better hope that whoever you're paying more than what you didn't pay Kobe Thomas, which is what the situation is going to probably end up being, you better hope and pray that they're better. That's all that I'm saying. We got to start spending money. We got to start spending it, or we're going to be in really, really bad situations. So with all that being said, I want to show you all this real quick because we are talking about safeties, right? There is a safety right here, AJ Halsey. We've talked about him before. He played at Houston. Okay, he's a veteran guy. He has good size. I think that he could come in and, he would probably be the starter. We need a veteran. I think that we need one bad. You cannot get into SEC play with these young guys as starters. You just can't. You just absolutely cannot do that. So he's the best option out there. If we have the money, we have to spend it. Don't know what he's asking for. I'm just going to ballpark it. If Kobe Thomas is asking for 1.5, he's probably asking for about 2, maybe even more than that. Okay, maybe even more than that. You got to pay it. You have to pay it. Either you pay it and you find somebody who can get this done, or we're just conceding this season. And yes, it is that serious. It's that serious. You cannot play SEC ball without 2 good safeties. You need that. Secondary is already it's already shorthanded, but I really like his game. Like we said, he's got the good size. He does a good job with his run fits. He's able to beat these offensive linemen coming out the block on with speed. I've seen him do it some with some power too, which is rare to see. I think that he tackles well. He's got the veteran savviness where he goes after the football. I think that he could get us some turnovers. That's what Tennessee needs now, because we have no idea. We have no idea what the quarterback room is going to look like. I'm not saying that it's going to be bad. I'm not. I actually think that it's going to end up being good. I sincerely do. I like those guys inside of that room, but we just don't know. So why not at this point, whenever we know what we know, we're watching him on film, we know that he can make some plays. Why don't we just go get him? If we have the money, go and get him. You have to do it. You have to do it. Like, we need people who can make plays, who can get the football back to the offense, or maybe score on defense or score on special teams. It's a 100% must. It's a 100% must. And the other thing about it, y'all, is I've looked through the portal. I haven't really seen anybody else that really, is a good option. This is the only, I think, good option. Now, I haven't looked at every single person, but I've looked enough that I don't feel very confident that there is a good option. And if there was, then they're probably already gone. Now, I don't know why he's not gone just yet. He wasn't gone at the time that I started to get ready for the show. He might be gone by now. If he is, I don't know. We better do some more tampering. We better go be talking to some people that's non-SEC at a big-time program, and you better have that checkbook ready. You know what I'm talking about? Because look, people are not playing. People are about business. This is a business. You got to make money. These kids want to make money. Rightfully so. You got to go get paid what you're worth, baby. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. I'm not mad at those kids. I'm upset about the rest of this situation. All right, so this right here from Chris Todd, yes, so saying that we need to stop going after kids that chase bags. We can do that, y'all. We can do that. We can just go and get guys that are, we can just go and get players that grew up big time Tennessee fans. I can guarantee you, if you're just looking to stay to Tennessee, if we could just go get players from Tennessee, you're gonna have plenty of suitors. Most of them won't be very good at football, though. That's just how it is. Like, this is the going rate. This is the market. This is what we're dealing with. We got to play the game. If we don't play the game, then the team's going to suffer for it. So you have to ask yourself, like we've said in some previous streams, how much do you value winning? How much do you value it, right? And I'm not really talking to the fans. I'm talking about the whole university. How much do we value it? We've got to, and I don't know how much money Tennessee's dealing with either. I'm going to say that a million times because I want for y'all to know that. I understand that we don't know how much there is, but we got to make do with what we have in a better way than what I think we're doing now. I will also say this. We have held on to some good players too now, okay? We were able to go out and pay Boo. We also paid Mike Matthews, okay? We're holding on to Brazel. We're holding on to Staley, holding on to those guys right now. Joshua Joseph, Jordan Ross. We could go on and on and on. Boom, 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 boom. Lance Hurd, holding on to him. David Sanders is still here, isn't he? You know what I'm saying? We are holding on to those guards, to those centers, to those linebackers. We're still holding on to some people. So don't think that I'm looking at this like, oh my gosh, we're not doing anything. We're doing a good job. But we also, we cannot let spots like safety get down to the depth that we have, or lack of depth that we have at this point. For my dog JPad86, sorry to keep you waiting, brother, saying that this shit's crazy. Those are big facts, and saying still go Big Orange and FUGA all day. I feel you on that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, we love this team, okay? But we're just trying to figure out, how can we help? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can we help y'all get it right? Because we expect, I'll speak for myself. I expect to win. I expect to win. All right, so Andrew is saying that if they don't get this NIL and transfer portal under control, fans are going to check out and the money will dry up. I'm starting to actually worry that we are seeing the end of college sports. So, you know what? I think that there will be some people that will check out, you know what I'm saying? Or there will be some people that'll say, hey, I'm not going to watch this. But at the end of the day, I think that we all know we love this team too much. We love football too much. We're still going to watch it. And they know that. The higher ups know that. Like we're gonna watch whatever they put out there, like whatever's on TV. That's football with our teams. We are still gonna watch it. Now, could some of the NIL money run up, like you said? I think that is possible. Not just from some of us. It's kind of like smaller donors and things like that. But also from some of these bigger donors. Maybe because I think that for a lot of the people that are bigger donors that have really deep pockets, I think that some of that's going to be about, well, number one, they probably love this university, right? They probably went to the school or just love the school, period. But a lot of that's going to be about power. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to have the power to say, hey, I'm going to impact this football team like this because I got all this. Like I think that some of that's going on too. So I don't know that they'll ever get tired of having power. But I think that the money's always going to be there. Honestly speaking, I do. I just don't think that there's so much money. I don't know that it's going to run dry, or maybe it already has run dry, like we're talking about. And maybe that's why Tennessee's not holding on to as many critical players to this team, even if they're not the absolute best players, which I love all the guys that we talked about today. Love them all, love them dearly. But, maybe some of them weren't necessarily the best on our roster. And like we talked about, we said, well, this player's better, so we're going to pay this player. I'm fine with that. But you can't have, if you get down to a critical situation, nobody can go. Like you got to hold on to everybody. Are they trying to hold people hostage? Maybe it is. But that's why we have to go out and I would do it this way, right? Like if I was Tennessee's general manager, after every single season, after every single portal thing, we're gonna set some money to the side if we can, and we're gonna come back and try to say, hey, we want to get y'all's deal fixed. Let me give you a small little bump up just to make them feel good. Just give them a little something. Give them just a little something just to hold on to them. If it's somebody that you really, really want or that you really feel like you need to keep. Because this is a problem. All right, I'm gonna get to this one right here from the Only 10 UC saying that I don't think that that Kobe was all about the money. I think he was so grateful to be here that he didn't ask for much before. Now he has an agent. Yeah, so that was something that I saw, is that it feels like his agent saying, hey, you can go leverage some more money. I don't know how much he's asking for, but I really don't know if it's too much. If it's so much that Tennessee wouldn't pay it, I'd be hard pressed to think that anybody else is going to pay that, because he played last year. I think that when he played pretty well, but he didn't play enough that if he's asking for a bunch of money, that there's going to be plenty of suitors. So that, and like you're saying, maybe it wasn't just about money. Maybe he wanted to play more, which I think that he would have been starting this season. So I don't know. That was a bad decision. Okay. We need to also, man, wouldn't it be great if we could, some of these, I don't know who his agent is. I don't know who really any of these guys. I don't know who most of these guys' agents are. But like with the family agent stuff, I think that people need to stop doing that. Like that's not a place where you necessarily want to. It's not always better to try to save the money by using your family members. I know that people want to keep it inside of the family. I absolutely love that. But I think that you really need to spend the money to get a real legitimate agent that's going to give you some good, sound advice. This is a bad deal for Kobe Thomas too. I don't think he's, I'm not wishing bad on him. I wish him the absolute best, but I don't think that this was smart on his part either. So this right here is from Noah. Sorry to keep you waiting, saying that Houston. Okay, so that's the other safety. Yeah. So the other safety, I'm gonna show y'all this real quick. I'm glad that you brought that up because I started to go off. So right here, I haven't seen him play. Well, actually, I did. I watched all of his stuff. It wasn't too much. Like for me, he looks a lot like the freshman safeties, like the redshirt freshman guys that we already have. I think he's about on that level as far as the play that I saw on the actual field. So, and with him being younger, I don't know. Would you want to add him and then maybe lose some of the guys that you already have, because that's a possibility? But maybe maybe he'll be able to come in as just like a depth piece and be fine with fighting to earn his spot and nobody leaves. You have to. I mean, the coaching staff, whoever it is that's doing all this, they got to be able to gauge that. Like that's their job. But yeah, I mean, he's another one. That's the only other safety, y'all. This is the only other one that I looked at and I said, hey, I think that maybe he could get it done for it. Let me come on over here and show y'all these stats from this perspective. It's the same stuff. You know what I mean? So he's from South Florida. I'm surprised that he wants to leave, but for whatever reason he does want to leave. Either way, I just wanted to bring up his profile so that maybe y'all could look at him if you want to take a look at him. I'm gonna get to some more of these chats. All right, I'm gonna get to some more of these chats. This is from JPad86, saying the same agent as Christian Charles. Yeah, so in Christian Charles' situation, I didn't too much understand that either. Maybe just a little bit if he felt like he wasn't going to be starting, which I think that he probably felt that way. I think that he felt like Kobe Thomas was going to start over him. Who is their agent? I wonder if it's a Georgia fan. Y'all got to be careful with these Georgia fans, man. I'm telling you, They do stuff like that. Just like little spiteful stuff to try to pick at Tennessee and mess us up. I wouldn't be surprised if his agent is a Georgia fan, because that doesn't even make any sense. How are you going to have two clients both playing at the same spot and only one of them leaves and then the other one follows suit? That's just stupid. That's just dumb. Nothing about that makes any sense. Or maybe he orchestrated it to say, hey, Christian Charles, go ahead and get us out of the portal. And we're going to, you can probably go get you some more money. And then Kobe Thomas, we're going to try to leverage your money with Tennessee. But y'all need to split up so that y'all can both make, whatever, like $500,000, we'll just say, so that y'all can both make it, because these agents sound and feel like it's a whole lot of greediness going on. I do have a problem with these agents in some of these situations. From JPad86 saying that money grab, Kobe could be trying to get his last good check because he doesn't believe his chances at the NFL. That's true. I just don't know, and I think that's a really good point. I just don't know, is he going to go get that with somebody else? And I also think that maybe there is a possibility. I don't know. It's still early on in this process, but maybe Tennessee tries to double back and pay one of those players. If it's me, I love all those guys, but probably will be leaning more towards John Slaughter and Kobe Thomas because they have stayed healthier over Christian Charles, even though I love Christian Charles too. Just don't know, right? Like, he's coming off of an injury too, which I feel like he wouldn't have too much leverage if he didn't even practice in spring. Some of this stuff just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any logical sense to me. All right. So I want to try to get to everybody. Let me get to Brock Briggs right here saying, thank you, Bull. You what is going on? It's crazy. Yeah, man. It's most definitely, it's wild. And from Cali is asking, do I think that there could be some, to the statements about problem with payments through the collective? I don't think that that's true at all. I've never heard about that. I've never heard about that with Spire Sports. You know what I'm saying? I think that might be a rumor. No, yeah, I can say it this way. I don't know of any players that's happened to. That's all that I can go off of. The insiders have actually talked about it too. They said nobody's missing payments. I don't. Tennessee doesn't strike me as one of those programs where people are missing payments. We might say, hey, we can't pay you this, and kind of like stand on it that way. That's how you should do it, instead of saying, hey, we can pay you this, and then that money runs dry. I don't think that would ever happen. I don't see it happening, but I don't know about the whole team. I don't know. From Yee Bo one asking, are you worried about this upcoming season like I am? I'm glad that you brought that up as well, and I'm gonna leave this up. And I want to go back to this schedule that we were just talking about. We talked about this earlier. I want to come back to this now, and we're going to talk about it some more. So, as I was saying earlier, I felt like there were 3 games on this schedule that Tennessee was going to lose. Just at this point, it's all subject to change. So I had UGA, I had Alabama, and Florida as losses. So I feel like Tennessee's ceiling was probably 3 losses, and I feel like our floor would be, I'm gonna say 5 losses. That's kind of how I felt earlier. But right now, I don't necessarily feel that way as much. I'm starting to feel like the games that we said I'm teeter-totting on, can Tennessee win or lose, Arkansas and Oklahoma, it doesn't look good because we need good safety play first, both of those teams. They've got good quarterbacks. Like, we already know that Arkansas is going to run a whole bunch of seams and stuff. That targets Tennessee safeties. Linebackers some, but mostly safeties. I'm not saying that our guys can't cover it, but that's a big-time question mark. And then for Oklahoma, the safeties are going to be big because of all the run-pass option game that they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be the conflict players a lot of times for Tennessee. So you need some guys that are veterans that understand that can live up to that billing. I think that we've got guys that can do it, but we just don't have enough depth. So, and we talked about this last season too. We said, man, we don't know if Will Brooks is going to be able to come out as a walk-on guy and play well for us. Well, guess what? Will Brooks had a hell of a year, didn't he? I mean, he was our best safety last season. Will we get another shock like that? Possibly. As I will continue to say, it's about the depth. There's a lack of depth. We don't have enough players. There's not enough bodies that we feel like we can trust. At least I don't. I mean, maybe the staff feels differently, but I just don't. We've got to go out and add somebody. There's only 2 realistic options. I think that it's a terrible spot for us to be in. And we still have to be able to spend that money to go out and get the other things that Tennessee needs, like tackles, right? Like, we need some big guys up front that can clog up that middle. We know that we need a wide receiver. Wide receivers and tackles cost a lot of money. So do safeties. Okay? So it's not an ideal situation by any means. All right? Let me get to this next one. Sorry to go off on these rants, man. I don't want to stress out about it, but I'm kind of starting to stress out about it. I'm not going to hold you. Let me see. Where do we leave off at? Okay, I think that it was right here with J-Pat saying that if our NIL doesn't have the money to pay these fools, then that's partially on us fans for not writing the checks. And yes, 100%. And I know the debit hits every month. Yeah. So hey, listen, shout out to everybody that is sending in money. You know, I've done it before. You know what I'm saying? But it's really, I think that us as fans, we can definitely help. But it really, honestly speaking, it really is more about those big boosters. Those are the ones that really make this thing go. Like we need to, if you look at some of those Big Ten schools, it sounds like they've got major corporations that are donating just a lot of money. We need to find something like, you know, we need to be talking more to the Haslams. We saw the Haslams sitting with Coach Barnes, and it looked like we was about to be spending a bunch of money in the transfer portal. We spent what we had to go out and get Nate, which was big. But the Haslams, hate to put it all on them. It's not all on them by any means, but yeah, I mean, shoot. I think if we need some money, can you help us out, please? Can you please help us out? But I think that is a very, very good point. Also saying that that we want to be the best in all sports, then us as fans now in this era have to cough it up. Yeah, I think that, like we just kind of touched on, for sure, the fans have to do it, but we also still need to have really, really big boosters that can just kind of foot that bill some, or mostly for us. From Carlos is saying that the ones that we lost are upperclassmen. Do they see the writing on the wall? And the freshmen and sophomores are advancing quickly. I think that that's possible, right? But I don't think that it's realistic, honestly speaking. And some people might come out and say otherwise after the fact, which sometimes I think that they say that just to try to save face for Tennessee. I don't think that Kobe Thomas was in jeopardy of any underclassmen starting over him. I just don't. I don't think that that's very realistic, especially understanding that the Coach Banks and Coach Martinez, they like to play the older guys first, you know. But with some of the other situations, yeah, like a Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson, I think that he felt like, well, if I can't be guaranteed this starting spot over David Sanders, then I'm going to go somewhere where I know for sure that I can start. And you understand that. Look, I understand really most of this stuff, but they got to get some better information. Kobe wants 1.5. No. Listen, I just threw that number out, y'all. I just threw that out. I have no idea what he's asking for. So please don't take that and run with it. I have no idea what he's asking for. That would be, that would be crazy if that really is what he's asking for. But maybe it is. I just don't know. This right here is from Tristan saying that we're spending money where it counts, but we ain't. But we're not going over to pay for unproven. And Thomas wasn't proven as some others, or he could just simply get beat out. Yeah. So if he's not as proven, what's behind him is even less proven, because he played more than any of the other guys that we just looked at. You know what I'm saying? So we can pull it back up, right? He played more than anybody else that's left outside of Andre Turntime, like significantly more. Some of these guys haven't even played their first college football game yet, that are going to have to be death pieces for us. And they're going to have to play. Like with safeties, you're going to rotate too deep. You can't let them play for the whole game. I mean, I guess you technically could, but that's just not a good idea. Like, you're going to have to rotate. You need 4 guys. I don't know who our 4 actually is. For my dog, G. White, saying pay the man. Yeah, I think that as long as it's not crazy, maybe we can, try to come to a deal with him, right? If he's asking for, like, let's just say, if it is 1.5, say, man, you know what? We're maybe only paying you 5. I'm throwing out some numbers I'm just trying to make it make sense. So we were paying him $500,000. He's asking for 1.5. Say, listen, we really value you. We're going to go up to 750. You know, how's that sound? Maybe that'll work. I don't know. Like, maybe they've already tried it, but I think that we got to close out on it. So right here from JPad86 saying that we haven't had good safeties in a while. Kobe was like water boy. Yeah. So, he was definitely the guy who was going to stick you. But I think that our safeties played well last season. I have to give them credit. I'm not saying that they're not Eric Berry. I don't think that they were absolutely locked down, but they played well within Tennessee's system. They made some big plays. They got us some turnovers. But these guys aren't going to be perfect. I think that, relatively speaking, for what we thought that we were going to get, I think that they did better than what I thought that they were going to do last season. Can it happen again this year? Sure, but we still need depth. From Michael Palmer saying that this has gotten out of hand. Yeah, I think that it's getting close to coming off of the rails, man. Like, we're gonna have to get something figured out pretty quickly. And right here saying that number 9 leaving the Big Orange is definitely a stinger. That's my favorite safety. Yeah, I loved Kobe Thomas. From Kelly Dow saying that, damn, Kobe Thomas could hit hard, gonna miss him for sure. And hey, look, maybe he'll come back. I know I keep on saying that's wishful thinking maybe. And from Steve is saying that there is No way that this kid is worth what he thinks he is. Solid player, but I got to tell you, as a lifelong fan, this becomes the trend for good players. Okay, yeah, yeah. I think that there's a lot of people saying that. Saying, okay, collective bargaining needs to happen soon. I will check out. Yeah, I think that's what I'm talking about, man. We had to get that. Once that comes, then I think Tennessee's going to be fine. Right here from Carlos is saying that, okay, so you don't think that the money part is fair. All right, so they get a free degree with no effort, a nice place to stay, food galore, and all the thing any man would want. So I think that all of that's true. Outside of, man, please don't get it twisted. These guys have to go to class. They have to do their work. And they have a lot on their plates. I can tell you, I played college football. It's not easy. That's a full-time job. It's way more than the 40-hour work week that a lot of people have. It's going to be closer to, I would say, if you look at the schoolwork, if you look at the, having to train and work out and the practice and the watching the film, because a lot of the stuff that you do is not just going to be with the team. You got to do some stuff on your own on that level. So, I mean, it's probably close to 60, 70, 80 hours that they're putting in. And yeah, they've got the resources and stuff as far as tutors and things like that to help them if they have any trouble, which is great. I think that's very beneficial. But I think that they do deserve to get paid. I 100% do. I'm that's just something I'm pretty certain on that one. He said that's a tax though. y'all tripping inside the chat. Yeah, so we actually just looked at him. I'm gonna bring him back up for you. Okay, I'm gonna bring him right back up. So this is the kid from the U. Actually there's two of them that's in the portal, but this is the one that I think is better. I think this will be the better option for Tennessee. Didn't play much. He's a young guy. So I think that Tennessee needs that. We need at least one veteran, like at least one, if not more. So this right from Carlos, okay, saying that if money must be involved, it should be like $500 to $1,000 per game for every player. Pick a value and pay. Yeah, that would just be so under the market value, though, that wouldn't even be. I mean, that wouldn't even be legal unless the player signed off on that, and I don't think that anyone would let them do that. That would be ridiculously low. From Cali, okay, saying that Coach Barnes is okay. He's gonna retire next year, and they gave him all the money to finally make the championship. Yeah, man. So I mean, listen, I don't want to lose Coach Barnes, but I would love to see him ride off into the sunset. I would love to see that. From the only 10 UC is saying that that collective bargaining is on the way, which is why the kids are scrambling to make these big money grabs right now. That is an excellent point. I think we've touched on that before previously. I think that is a huge part of it, that they know that a lot of things are about to change, that they are going to try to cash in with this last opportunity. So that maybe that's part of it. Maybe the school is looking at it from that same perspective and saying, well, we just got to make it to this next deal, right? We got to make it to whatever, once things start to get settled down, which it sounds like with this house settlement coming up for this season, things will probably get tampered down some. It'll be a little bit easier to manage things. But, I mean, it's going to be too late. You know what I mean? It's going to be too late for us to have I think a good enough team to really go out and have a solid enough opportunity to really fight for a playoff spot. And maybe that's out the window. I don't know. So from Tristan saying that he thinks that players should be paid, but I don't think that they should be paid millions because a lot of kids that age are not mature enough to handle that much. They need to put a cap on it. Every team can only pay. Okay. Yeah. So I would have to disagree with that too. And the reason that I say that, I'm gonna come back to the safety room. And the reason that I say that is because if kids that age are old enough to go to war and fight and die, then they damn sure better be old enough to make the money that this is a capitalist country. This is a capitalist system. So you just can't put those caps on how much money anybody can make, unless I guess they sign it in a contract, which I don't even know if that would even be legal. But I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to act like I really, really know, but that's just my understanding of it. So this one right here is from Vultures of the North, saying that they were already being paid a great education that lasts a lifetime, room and board, free food, free nutritionists, free weight trainers, a free opportunity to choose their NFL dream or to chase their NFL dreams. So it's definitely not free, right? Like nothing's free because they have to work really, really hard. And it's a crazy low percentage of people that make it to the next level, especially to the NFL. So the people that we're going to see tonight, man, they're living out. It's only 32 of them getting picked. That's getting picked tonight as first rounders. So that should tell you how many players are playing D1 college football. I don't know, thousands. I mean, it's a lot of them. So that part of it, I mean, I understand kind of what you're saying, but also whenever you talk about with the education thing, that is true. But I'm gonna say this: if you're not getting the education in the correct stuff, education is not going as far these days as it used to. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these guys are going to graduate, and unfortunately, they'll be making like minimum wage, and so I don't even get me started on that part of it. I think that you have got to get paid what you're worth, and that goes for anybody in any field, anywhere. I think that that's what people should get is what you're worth. Some of these guys are worth millions because this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. All right. So this right here is from Boomhauer saying that might be a 20-year anniversary of '05. At least we won't be preseason number 3. Yeah. I hopefully not. From okay, right here. Where do you think James Pierce Jr. goes? I don't know. I think he's going first round. I don't know exactly where he's going to go, but I think that he will be a first round guy. I would love my Falcons pick him up. I'd be really happy about that. From David T, is saying that I would hate to go grocery shopping with you, Flu. Just put it in the bag attitude. You better have a big checkbook. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, still, right? Like, if for us is if you're going to the store, like hey, like my budget tells me I got to go to the dollar store. I'm not going to Saks Fifth. See what I'm saying? Like this is the SEC, right? Like for us to be able to play on this level, we're shopping at Saks Fifth. It costs money. You know what I mean? Like you gotta spend it. Okay. So right here from Vulture of the North is saying that they used to play. They used to play for all of that. The love of the school or state, and for the fans. People like Nico can kick rocks. Yeah, and hey, listen, it's cool if y'all feel that way. I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, you miss some of the passion, but it's just, and I think that there is still passion. Just because players are getting paid, or just because players want to get paid more, it doesn't mean that they're not as passionate. I know that no one's going to say this. Like there's no former player that's going to come out and say this, but it's true. Some of those guys, if they were in the same situation where they could say, where they could go out and get hundreds of thousands of dollars more, they're gonna probably go get that money. Like that's just how it works. I mean, people, same thing for any of us, most of us, I would say. If one company is offering you more money to do the same job, if it's that much more money, you're probably gonna try to take that job. Because it's not really 100% life-changing money at this point. But for some of these guys, it's helping their families out. It's helping them out, helping their families out. They're getting a head start on a few things. So I mean, I get it. Like I totally get it. Some people hate that the players are getting paid. I personally love it. From Noah is saying that my wish is to get BYU's guy and the Houston safety. I think that can come true, brother. I'm hoping that it does. I think that's what Tennessee needs. And from Smokey Payton saying that we ain't losing. Hey, I love that confidence. From Snakes is saying that why are you so stressed? This roster is really good. Listen, I'm stressed because, and you know what, stress might be the wrong word, because there's real stuff going on. But I guess I'm a little bit concerned because we're losing depth at critical spots. So I think that we're talented. And I don't know if you're being, if you're being genuine with the way that you're asking it, but if you look at quarterback, that's a critical situation, because quarterbacks mean a lot to an offense, especially with Tennessee's offense. I think that we've got some good guys, but we don't know how they're going to play. Safety, kind of similar. It's almost like the safety of a defense these days. They gotta, they're going to make all those calls, most of the calls, and they're going to be playing run support and also pass coverage. The safeties have to be good. If the safeties aren't good, you're probably not going to have a very good team. So that's why I guess that we're just missing depth in some critical spots. All right. So right here, bringing the guy from the U. I love that. But this sucks. Hometown Tennessee kid leaving as well. Yeah, that's why I'm saying he might come back. From Max. Max is saying that, especially as a starter, okay. Did an underclassman jump him? Yeah, we kind of talked about that. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but maybe. Same age as Christian Charles. Yeah, we talked about that as well. Let me get to this one right here. This one is from Zach Hamilton saying that, man, agents need to get banned from college athletics. I think that they got to try to figure something out. You know what I mean? I think that they definitely do. Oh, I'm sorry, right? I think that I might have left this one waiting for way too long, but this one is from the Only 10 UC. This is a super chat for $10. Thank you so much. And okay, so with all the hard work it is to cover this, so thank you for letting us vent, Bull. Yes, ma'am. Hey, listen, thank you so much for that. We appreciate all of the kind words. Definitely love to get those super chats. Let me go ahead and play this clip. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we're gonna try to get to some more of these chats, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up and start getting ready for this NFL draft. But this is from MG Ways going on, dog, saying that does the basketball team have half all of our football money now? I've been kind of thinking that, me and P, we were kind of joking about, shoot, is Tennessee turning into a basketball school now? But I don't know. Hopefully that's not the case. I'm hoping that we've got plenty left over for the football team. From JPad86 saying that if he leaves, I hope him the best, but don't see him making a step up in schools. I don't think that that's going to happen either. Saying that he stepped up from MTSU, but what's better for him? I think it's a money grab. Yeah, I think that you're right on that. So from Jay Smith, saying that they do get to choose their major. It's not like they just luck of the draw. Yes, and hopefully they get a major that will serve them later. That's a very, 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 very good point. So yeah, I mean, you could choose a really strong major, but even still, I think that for a lot of the things that really make good money, like when you're going to college, it's something else that they will be able to network with some people that should be able to get their foot into the door with some jobs and things like that. So that can pay off for sure. But for a lot of the stuff, you've got to seek higher education even after the regular 4-year stuff if you really want to make some real money. So I don't think that they would pass up the hundreds of thousands of dollars to when they could get it now and maybe still be able to stack on top of it and have a really good job after it too. See what I'm saying? It just, when that money's on the table, we can all say whatever, but a lot of folks are not turning that. You ain't turning that down. I can tell. I've seen that firsthand. You say, I'm not saying anyone, I'm not trying to, I'm not pinpointing anybody, but that's just facts. Whenever that much money is sitting on the table, it's tough to just pass it up. So from TN Jr., what's going on, dog? Saying that he hates this, bro. I do too. Saying I'm all for guys making theirs, but there's a limit to the BS, man, for sure. Saying that the NIL was taken out of play. Yep. Yep. But I will never blame someone for getting paid what they're worth. And that Joy Football is going to do okay, and we're going to have fun this season. But I'm really concerned with the depth loss. Yeah, I think that those are facts for sure. From Bobby Taco was saying that RP college football, I'm about to check out. Yeah, I mean, hey, if that's how you feel, I don't know how people have been watching the NFL for so long. You know what I mean? Because they get paid. I will say that the NFL is not the same, even though they've gotten paid as long as I've been living. I'm not that old, but it's not the same type of passion for them either. It just isn't. Right here from Smokey Payton saying that Joey's going to make the Vols offense better. Sure do hope so. Sure do hope so. Carlos is saying that we obviously aren't using what money we have wisely, or either someone is getting kickback, or we got players making too much money. Could be a combination of all those things. From Colton Jones is saying that do any Vols go round one, and if so, who and where will they go? Yeah, so I think that James Pierce is going to go round one. It sounds like might be later rounds, but I'm kind of holding out hope that my Falcons might pick him up. The Falcons picking number 15. I think that we need an edge rusher. I was talking to I can't think of his name now. I was talking to my homeboy earlier, and we were talking about this. We were talking about Tennessee's draft. Chase Thomas. So I'm gonna be on his show. I think it's coming out tomorrow. He has a really, really good show for those of y'all that haven't seen it. I'll let you know again tomorrow because we're going to come back tomorrow. We have some more things to talk about with the transfer portal window, with some visits and all that type of stuff. But we're both Falcons fans. So he was saying that he hopes that Tennessee does pick an edge rusher. I said, there's no way that we don't. And he said that he doesn't really want it to be James Pierce just because he doesn't want James Pierce to have to fill those really big shoes. But I think that James Pierce could step up to the task. But what everyone's saying is it's either going to be late first round or like early second round. So this one's from Stingray saying, what's up, Team Junior? Hey, Stingray, why you always come in here? You never say hey to me, bro. Like you always say hey to everybody else. You never speak to me. What's going on with you, dog? Always good to see y'all in here. Okay, there it is. Okay, so he said, hey, saying that he just looked forward to the portal ending and moving on. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm quite well. I'm ready for it to end because I don't want any more players to enter from Tennessee side, but I'm like, shoot, dude, can we go get some more players to enter into the portal? Like, we got to do that quickly. So we'll see what happens over the next 24 hours or so. Maybe a little bit more than that, like 36 hours. So from Matt SS saying that our secondary is getting skinny. It's starting now, not cool. Those are facts. We are in a tough situation. We have more things to add for sure to this team if we want to be able to just be able to go out and have I'd say really even I'm not going to say a solid team, but a team that we feel confident with. That, hey, we have a chance in every single game. Like if we lose too much more depth or too many more players, it's going to start to get to the point that we're looking at games how we did in maybe I'll say like in 2023, 2022, maybe, or not even 2022, 2021 is probably the perfect year where you look at it and you say, man, we're not going to win this one. But anyway, y'all, that's going to be it. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm going to get this one right here from my dog Detailer, saying that Trevor Woods from Colorado. I don't understand why he's just hanging in the portal. He is another one that I think that he's pretty good. And from Hub is saying that young guys about to do some growing up fast. Facts. So listen, thank y'all so much for joining us. We will see y'all tomorrow. Please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see y'all then. Thanks. Peace.